Happy Easter, happy spring, happy times are ahead. So, I am excited to paint this canvas with you guys. You're going to want to go ahead and get out all your supplies from your art kit and put on some comfy clothes. Maybe cover your painting surface, get your napkins, paint plate, all your paints, brushes, water cup for cleaning your brush, and a snack maybe. How about a drink and maybe turn on some fun music, right? Let's just make this a celebration. Okay, guys, so I have my paints already on my plate, but I really suggest that you leave your paints in the tin. That way, as you need them, you can scoop them onto your plate to mix. But otherwise, if you're going to use the color straight the way it is, you can just dip it straight out of the tin, right? And then that way, if you don't use it all, you'll be able to put the lid on and use it again another time. All right, guys? Remember, you can fast forward or pause me or rewind at any time. That's the awesomeness of doing pre-recorded videos. We're going to start with our biggest brush that's pointy on both sides. I do like to hold my brush right where the metal and the handle touch whenever I am doing controlled things, and I hold my brush further back whenever I'm kind of just swirling and flinging around paint. Okay, remember this paint is not washable, so don't for real fling it. You could create any kind of background that you want. I am going to go with a soft yellow, so I am going to get a chunk of white. Over here, we want to make sure we grab enough because there is a lot of background. And then just about a chocolate chip amount of yellow. And I will mix this in and make a very soft, pale yellow. You guys can do any color you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to outline around my bunny. Now, say I don't want to see these black Sharpie lines at the end. What you can do is purposefully paint on top of them every opportunity you get. So like when I work on my background, I can purposefully paint over them. When I start painting the actual bunny, I can purposefully paint over them. And this way we kind of get rid of them, okay? Now, say you like the black lines, well, then you purposefully try not to paint on them. And you can, I think I need to make that just a little darker so y'all can see what I'm doing, huh? Say you like them, then what you can do is try not to paint on them. And then at the very end, when it's all dry, there's no wet spots left, then you can most definitely get your permanent marker out that came in your kit and re-sharpie those lines, re-go over those lines. So that means you'll trace every single line again with that black marker. Or hey, if you're trusting yourself, you could most definitely go back and paint all of those black lines with one of your baby brushes. So that's always an option as well. I think I'm going to go for the less outlined look. Totally up to you though again, okay? Also, I am going to paint my edges. So I'm going to I might even do some straight yellow on my edges so they're a little more bold, and it might kind of sweep over to the sides as well. So I'm going to go down this edge. There we go. And I'm going to go down this edge over here on purpose. Here we go. Awesome. There. And then at some point I got to remember to do the very bottom of my painting, right? Okay. Now we'll go back over on our front. And I'm purposefully painting on these guys. There we go. Ta-da. Awesome. We'll get this all filled in. There we go. And technically, right in here is background color as well, right? So the nice thing about using this big brush is it does have stiff enough bristles that you can outline and keep the paint where you want it. So that's one good thing. Another good thing is it'll fill a bigger space in a smaller amount of time by using this bigger brush, as long as you have control of what you're doing. If you don't have control or you don't really trust yourself in certain areas with the big brush, you could always outline with a smaller brush and then fill in with the bigger brush, right? Now, as I'm filling in my background, I'm not really sure if you're noticing or not, but I'm not trying to make it look nice and smooth. I am just kind of swirling my brush this way and that way, this way and that way. There we go. Just like that. Okay? There. Now, if I wanted to, I could kind of darken up my edges just a little with just some straight yellow, or you could even pop in another color that might look good. Orange could be good. Just be very thoughtful about what color you pick, because if you pick a color's complement, you'll just wind up making brown when you mix in a second color. So you do have to be careful and kind of thoughtful about what color you choose to pull in. Okay? There we go. Oh yes, so fabulous. Love, love, love it. Okay. So now we do have to remember, like I said, at some point to paint the very bottom of the canvas. I could potentially even paint that now. If you're painting flat, you could go ahead and paint your bottom edge right now as well. If you are painting vertical like I am, you may want to wait till the top dries just a little bit more. I'm not super concerned about setting it back on my easel because my easel's kind of ruined anyway. So now to clean our brushes, guys, this brush has to go all the way to the bottom of your water cup. Please make sure this is not your favorite cup. My daughter used to do that when she was little. She would go get like cute coffee mugs or something. And I was like, no, we can't do that because it's going to ruin our cup. So anyway, wipe. Do not tap. You got to wipe the sides. And then we just dry, dry, dry. Just kind of sweep, sweep, sweep. Dry, dry, dry. Okay? All right. Now, let's think about our bunny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some straight white, just like this. I'm going to put just a little bit of brown in at a time and create a tan. Or you could do a gray bunny, or you could do a white bunny, or you could do a pink bunny. It's whatever you want. Right? Whatever you want. But I am going to start with kind of a tannish color first. Try to keep your mixing piles a little smaller than mine is. We don't want to paint with all of this on our brush. That is way too much. So I'm going to kind of scrape that off on my plate. And now I'm going to come in and I'm going to work on getting a base coat on. Now, here's the tricky part, guys. We really want to layer our bunny, okay? So what I mean by that is, like on the ears, I want to pull in a little bit of pinkish, right? And I also want to pull in some darker brown. So I've got to do that while the paint is still at least a little bit wet, so that way it blends a little bit but not completely, okay? Got a little out of the lines, but nobody's going to know unless we tell them. So if you get a little out of the lines, no stressing about it, for reals. For reals, okay? We just want to have a good experience. Now, potentially, look, I could just paint right over those eyes. And you know why? Because this is a light enough color that I can see right through it, okay? So we can just paint right over those eyes, and then I can go back and paint them back on, no big deal. Much easier than trying to paint around them, okay? If you don't like that idea, don't. Paint around them. Another trick you can do is turn the flashlight on your phone, shine it behind your canvas, and then it'll help the black lines show through. Okay? All right. Here we go. We are outlining just like this. Here we go. And outline, and outline, and outline, and fill in. There we go. Now potentially you could just fill her all in with just this base color, right? We wouldn't necessarily have to add texture to her. So that's up to you if you want to add her fur texture in here shortly. Okay, we almost have her base coat on, so we're doing good. We're working pretty quick. If you don't find yourself working quick, you can always go back and add one more quick layer of color on there, make it a little bit thicker, right? Oops. There we go. Okay. So I'm getting her all coated up. Put just another quick layer on her. Here we go. So I know she's nice and wet. There we go. All right. So now, you know what? If you get a little bit out of the lines, that's okay. We can just make her ears a little bigger, right? Nobody has to know. Okay. There. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to put this guy in the water, and I am going to get out, I forgot her forehead. Oh my gosh. That's okay. I'm getting out a smaller brush anyway. Your smaller flat one will work, or a smaller pointy one will work. Either way. Okay. Kind of tricky to paint in there, huh? That little gap there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I think I don't want that brush. Okay, I think I'm going to use this little one, but it's sort of flat on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more brown to my tan that I had going on. That's probably too much. Soften that up a little bit. Okay, this should be a little darker. We're about to find out. And what I'm going to do is I am just going to joop, 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 joop. Just sort of sweep it on there. Sweep, 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 sweep. These are quick, gentle brush strokes. And if I get a little bit out of the lines, again, I'm not going to worry about it. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing. Just joop, 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 joop. Just little quick short brush strokes on her. And what this is doing is this is giving her a little bit of a furry look. See that? But since all of this is still wet, it's blending as well. Okay? So it's kind of nice. We just get this all on there. Real quick layers. Now notice I'm holding my paintbrush a little further back. That is so I can joop, 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 just sweep, 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 okay? And get that fur on there. Here we go. Kind of sweep around the curve of her face. Sweep, 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 sweep. So cute, cutie, cute, cute. Awesome. Okay, here we go. Boop, boop, boop. Again, I just sort of sweep it around, okay? And here in the middle, my lines are going to be more straight, right? In the middle of her face, they're a little straighter down. But then, as I get closer to the outside curve, then we're going to curve those a little bit more. Okay? Here we go. And I'm not super concerned if I get some of this fur like on the nose or the mouth or whatever, because I know I'm going to be going over those with darker colors anyway. Okay, sweep, sweep, sweep. Now, I'm not going to pull this all the way to the middle. Okay, here we go. And the reason being is I think I'm going to make her chest a little lighter. Okay, there we go. Sweep, 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 sweep. And then don't forget the bottom. At some point you could go back, probably be easier with a bigger brush, but you can paint the bottom of our easel as well. Like I said, it'd be way easier with that bigger brush than using this little bitty guy. This feels kind of silly. Here we go. Okay, now I am going to grab just straight brown, put it right there on the tips, and I'm going to go right around the edge, super edge of her ears, and just add a little bit of brown right in there. We go. Awesome. Okay, same thing over here. Brown, 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 brown. Go. Okay, and then same thing right around the edge of her face over here. And I'm trying to make it look kind of like fur. So I'm just sort of sweeping it in a little. The more you go over it, the more it will blend. The less you go over it, the more noticeable it will be. So it's up to you, kind of what look you want to go for, if you want it to be more blended or not. Okay. We go. A little chinny chin chin. And then again on this side, right? We go. Okay. There we go. All right. So like I said, the more you go over it, the less noticeable that outlining will be. The less you go over it, the more noticeable it will be. If you decide, oh my gosh, this is too much, I don't like how dark it is, then just go back over it with that light tan that we had earlier, right? No big deal, okay? All right, and then a little bit down both of her shoulders. OMG, she is too precious. I am sure you guys are doing fabulous. If at any time you're like, oh, this is stressing me out, then I want y'all to take a deep breath, maybe walk away from it for a minute, do a little stretch, get you a little fresh drink of water or whatever, and then you can come back to it, okay? Now I'm going to take straight white. Still haven't cleaned my brush. It's okay. And I'm going to put some straight white right here in the middle. And of course my straight white is not going to be as noticeable because all of this is still wet, right? So it's just kind of blending in. That's okay. Okay. We go. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so she gets a few little tufts of lighter hair right there in the middle. We can even put a few little tufts of lighter hair kind of where her nose would be sticking out just a little, you know. Her little nose, she twitches around when she's smelling. There we go. My gosh, my doggies, when we go on walks, they like chase down the bunny rabbits. It's so funny. Okay. Of course, the bunny rabbits always get away. There we go. Okay. And I want to put a little bit of light right here on this top edge. A little bit of white right here on this top edge. Go. There we go. Oh, so cute. Okay, then we had talked about earlier putting a little bit of pink. Now, what I can do is we have this light tan, right? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab just the teeniest amount of red, just a teeny bit, and mix that in until I like it. You can make the inside of those ears really pink, or we can just go a little bit pink. I think I need to go a little bit darker so y'all can see what I'm doing. Otherwise you can't see from way back there. Okay, so now I'm just sort of scruffing in little brush strokes, just little sweep, 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 sweep. So it looks kind of hairy in those ears. All right. OMG. So cute. Okay. Same thing over here. Let's get you a little pinky in the ears. There we go. Pinky in the ears. There we go. Okay. Now, we're down to the details. Okay, I'm going to clean this brush. I'm going to make some legit pink now. You guys could make whatever color you want for your glasses. I'm going to go legit pink. There we go. And go. Put that all in there. I could go lighter or darker. I may stay with this kind of in-between color and then make a lighter version for highlights and a darker version for some shadow on my glasses. Okay, so we outline. I'm still using that small brush, but it's kind of flat on the tip instead of being pointy. But really, you could use whatever small brush you're comfortable with. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Whew. Sometimes I don't talk whenever I'm doing details because I'm afraid if I talk I'll get out of the lights. Sometimes I even hold my breath when I'm doing details. I have to remind myself to breathe. But notice that I outline, so it's like I'm tracing the Sharpie line, slow and steady, and then I fill her in, and fill her in. Okay? There we go. So lovely. There we go. And the nose. There we go. All right. Oh, we're getting there. Oops. Got a little bit out of the lines. That's okay. Again, shh, we don't tell anybody. It's okay. There we go. Good job, guys. I'm sure you are doing fabulous. You're hanging in there with me, watching it all the way to the end. We just have a little bit left. We're so close. Okay, so we outline, and like I said a long time ago at the beginning of the video, I am purposefully painting on top of the Sharpie every chance I get, so that way I can kind of hide these Sharpie lines. You know? There we go. Awesome. And around we go. I'm curious how many of you have a pet bunny or have had a pet bunny. I had a friend that had a pet bunny for a while. Fur was so soft. Okay, so there's my pink glasses. Now, if I wanted to, I could use some straight red, and I could put like a little sweep of straight red kind of across the bottom. What that does is it creates a little bit of a shadow down there. So it creates like a little bit of depth, kind of fun. You don't have to. It's just if you want to. It's a super soft touch. So I left the pink on my brush, but I put some straight red on there as well. Just if you wanna. There we go. Then I could do some straight white on the opposite side, which would just blend to make like a lighter pink, right, on the top. There we go. Just a little lighter pink, that's all. And we'll actually add a shine in there in a minute. But okay, now you could do a pink nose or you can do black. You could do whatever color bow you wanted. No wrong answer. I'm going to mix some blue with my turquoise. So I grabbed a chunk of blue and I'm mixing it over here in the turquoise just for fun. Just kind of makes a little bit different version of a teal. I'm going to outline, fill in, outline, fill in. There we go. Outline. There we go. Fill in. Awesome. Okay, now we can leave our bow like this, or we could go straight into the white and do kind of a little pop of white in there, just to give it a little extra something, if you want. The more you go over it, the more it will blend, remember? So we can go over it a little bit more, kind of lighten it up a little. We can do a little swoop around on the edge, a little swooparoo. There we go. Awesome. Okay, then add a little bit more blue to some of this turquoise, just a little bit more blue. There we go, and kind of put like a little shadow down there. A little swooparoo down here. There we go. Oh yes. So good. Awesome. Okay. Cute. Okay. Well, that sets up a little. Go ahead and do her eyes. Now I will say if your black is a little stiff, a trick that I do sometimes is I'll water down just a little bit of black. So you could get just a little bit on your plate, kind of water it down. So you just have a wet brush and kind of rub it in there. And then we can totally paint these eyes in. I think my bunny is still a little damp. If your bunny is still a little wet, you could always, go blow dry it first if you need to. Or, go take a little snack break, little dance break, and let it dry and then come back to it. Whichever. Now, little trick, you could totally wait and Sharpie those eyelashes. Way easier than painting them. They're so tiny, but it's up to you. There we go. We gotta paint our little nose in. Little cutie nose to this cutie little bunny. Go. Now, trick to doing those little dots is we take our brush, we dip it upside down, we dot it in the black paint, and that will make perfect little circles using the bottom of your brush. Pretty clever, right? Okay, so I'm going to clean this off now really good. And I don't have much white left, but I'm going to get a little bit of white. And I am going to make some whiskers. Boop, boop, boop. It's a quick flick of the wrist, so it's a frown flick. Okay, frown flick. Frown flick. Frown flick. Just like that. Okay, and you can flick them on off her face or leave them on her face. Now I'm going to get in my white with my brush handle, and I am going to dot her eyes and dot her eyes, and she is going to get a sweep right there across her nose, a little shine on the nose. And while we're adding shines, we can put that shine back on that little bow. There we go. Little shine on the bow, like that. And we can go ahead and put a little shine, shine, shine on her glasses, wherever you want them. Okay? And so this gives her glasses a fun little look. Oops, that one got a little funky on me, didn't it? You know what? If that happens, look, I can just go over it a couple times and then try again. So by going over it, it blends it into the rest of the paint underneath it that is still wet. All right, there she is. She's so cute. Oh my goodness, precious. I love it. She is going to make such a cute Easter gift or Easter wall hanging or memories, right? Decorations. So you guys have a very great time. Thank you so much for choosing to hang out with me, and I cannot wait to do some more art with you. Hey, and make sure you do all that awesome social media stuff, like, subscribe, share, all of that on there. That truly helps me out. Thanks so much, guys.